Mitra and Bandhuo, welcome to South Asia Maps Education Channel. This is your presenter Dr. J. Reddy. Today we are continuing our fascinating discussions on human ecology and predicament. Most of the time the people will present to you the pre-ecological perspectives on the social, political, economical and historical events of current affairs, and we will mostly expose to that. But this is a very important series, that is the human ecology plays a very important role. That is the one that modulates our life on the planet Earth. Today I am going to discuss in part 82 about Homo Colossus, the giant human being on the planet Earth, and the concept of the population pressure, MICD. After this presentation, I will give you certain day-to-day practical examples. And after this presentation, you can start discerning in your own life what is a population pressure, how it is affecting you, affecting the society overall. You will get a very fascinating, different perspective after listening to this presentation. The title of the presentation is Homo Colossus. Here is the Homo Colossus. Essentially, Homo sapiens, Homo Colossus, we discuss about. Colossus means big and giant, a resource prodigal, consuming extraordinary amount of resources on the planet Earth. Metaphorically, 80 kilogram person driving on 3000 kilogram automobile, you can consider as a Homo Colossus. Homo Colossus under population pressure. Here you can see the mice. You remember the mice? Instead of E, you make it D. You can know then MICD. What is MICD? This is just abbreviation I came out. Mutual interference per capita per day. Capita means per person. Mice, MICD. Mice, MICD. That is the population pressure. That's very different from population density. Population density is the number of the people living in a square kilometer or square mile or even an entire state or a particular habitat. That's very different from population pressure. Population pressure, remember the mice, just change E to D, MICD. Mutual interference per capita per day. Population pressure definition is the frequency of mutual interference per capita per day, due to the presence of others in a finite environment that we talked before as a part of 29 in our series, that you can look at it. Essentially, this is a finite environment. There are two organisms. Here I put it mice. There are 5 over here. There are 5 here. Let's say arbitrarily MICD is 2 units. Because there are more, they bump each other, they move around. So there is more MICD in this finite environment. Same, the 5 mice here and 5 mice here. Put them under twitches, electric twitches, and give the electric shock once a while. Now they start moving very rapidly, interacting and bumping each other 200. Instead of that, you again improve the technology. Put a chip in there underneath their body and let the chip give every few seconds a shock. Even the MICD will be more. So that means when there are organisms in a limited finite environment, they mutually interfere with each other. The same I gave the humans, giving an apartment complex, people are trying to walk and cars trying to enter, the small children trying to play, and the car will be the car driver will be concerned that you will be hitting them, and all those things I talked, and you can look at that particular presentation. And that is a population pressure. Before we move to the topic, Mitra and Bandhu, this is my main YouTube channel, South Asia Maps Reddy, and I have already posted more than 300 or so meticulously made presentations in well organized 30 playlists. You can choose the appropriate playlist and look at them as for your interest. Today we look at practical examples how in a finite environment more number of population pressure affects us. Again, this is the mice, MICD, Homo, Colossus, the basic concept of MICD. The population load, you put more people or more organisms, there is more population pressure. You give the more technology load also increases the population pressure. In mice we saw putting the twitches on the cage before, or some shock wave giving chips inside their body. We are talking about the Homo Colossus today. Take for example a busy auto intersection. That means population pressure mutual interference means you want to do certain things that you cannot do. Others interfere with you, and you are also interfering other people. That is a population pressure. MICD, mutual interference. At busy intersection for automobiles, there will be in industrial world so many 30, 40, 50, 100 signs will be there. Just you look around them. This is a population pressure. It is prone for accidents. Once accident or more, your insurance goes up and even your license may be suspended. Imagine, is a very low population pressure means all these things will be lot less or even can be avoidable. Or at a particular intersection, once in every 5 minutes, a car comes, there is no other cars, less population pressure. So that is if you take a busy intersection. Let's say password reset. Remember, population pressure is due to population load and technology load. Software industry, IT industry is a very good. We are not saying that are wrong. We are saying how that affects day-to-day life. What is a population pressure? Security issues. Number of letters you have to type, uppercase, lowercase, and non-numerical, non-alphabetic characters. All these things, even if you look at it and remember, you get so much annoyed. You are under immense amount of interference by a person who wrote this program. Of course, they have written it for certain reason to prevent others, unauthorized people logging into the system and so on. That's a different story. That is the password reset is a population pressure. You go and look at the Walmart stores or Dollar General stores or gas stations, people working there. They're scanning and they're supposed to scan at very fast rate. And they'll be monitored by the employers after the day's end. And instead of just doing small record keeping and punching what the product you want, they're supposed to greet them properly every time. And there always a mysterious shoppers coming and monitoring these employees and workers. That is an immense amount of population pressure. In addition to doing the normal works and sales, they're also forced to, what we can say, and sell the coupons, sell the credit cards, and a lot of customers doesn't like these sales pitches. Customers get very annoyed, and the sales clerks also get very under pressure, and they don't like it. Both parties feel tremendous amount of mutual interference, things they do not want to do, but employees are forced by the employers to do this one. And even if you go to the stores, After 1 week, the entire products are reshuffled, and you have to even finding a simple thing. You will see immense amount of pressures walking around, and the normal things, the toothpaste or toothbrush you want to buy, and reshuffled, and you will feel under immense amount of pressure. That is MICD, population pressure, mystery shoppers, and trivial compliance rules you have to follow. And if you don't follow that, you will get a warnings, and eventually, and if you don't fill into what employers thinks correct, that can lead to the job loss also. Even the people who are working very honest, very intelligent, and very service oriented, they want to do their job good, still they are under this pressure. That is population overload. Technology, so many technologies are invented, scanning. Compare it like 30, 40, 50 years back, when if you are coming from an agricultural society going to a small town purchasing things, I never felt like that. I never faced those things. But after coming and living in the industrial societies, you start noticing them. Even in Bharat, South Asia today, you start noticing them. Then the resident apartment complexes, the parking issues. Even if you park a car little crookedly, and you will get a notice from your neighbor, and there is, if kids, you have kids, they're shouting a lot, talking a lot, jumping a lot in apartment, and the person who lives before, he get perturbed and interference with his life. He goes and calls the manager. A manager send you a letter, or even they call you, and this is MICD, mutual interference. That is the technology overload. In software engineering, this is a very common. Software engineering degree means you are supposed to get a 4 or 5 years degree in computers, where you study Unix, Java, Python. Even after studying that, you take a coaching and specialize yourself. Even after that, you are supposed to learn the latest, all the technologies, like a big data, the DevOps technology, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity. And there is no end to that. Go on learning. The employers, the recruiters, the placement agencies put so much pressure, very high expectations. That is the technology overload, population pressure, MICD. Imagine it was 1990 like that. I remember the people, you just study only one language, Java, they used to get it. Now 1990 means there were only 5.5 billion people. 2022 is 8 billion people. That means 3.5 billion people, or 2.5 billion people are added to the planet Earth. More people study the engineering, they are more competent, they are competing for the job. Employers raise their requirements. So you see everywhere population pressure, that is MICD, mutual interference per capita per day, things you do not want to do but are forced to do. Then modern education system, excess information, competitive exam, so many books. In the Western societies, I saw even the 10th class person is given this much book, and so many problems in mathematics, biology, chemistry is supposed to solve them, read them, write in the exams. Most of them after graduation never need to use any of these things in their normal works. Only few people who study and specialize in engineering or STEM studies and so on, they need them. But instead of that, everybody forced to do that in the developing countries. Even now, developing countries are doing the same thing. Too many books to read, too many things. Most of them are PhD contents. Even grade 7, 8, 9, they start talking about in biology, genetic engineering, molecular biology, biotechnology, all those concepts. Modern education system, students' curriculum, MICD, population pressure, mutual interference. Then companies, employers, are compliance rules by the government. In the Western societies, there are so many compliance rules, unimaginable. If you live a city life, you know what is this compliance rule is. And whenever any person accosts you, comes and talks to you, generally there is an issue that you violated particular traffic rule, or you just trod on the feet of your people in a wrong way. Else they don't have any time or interest to talk to you unless there's an employer or something like that. When you compare that the village life where I came from, I never faced that amount of population pressure, and at that time I didn't know what is a population pressure. And after start reading the Dr. Catton's work, and I start putting these things together and start analyzing what is the ecological basis of this mutual interference, MICD, that is the population pressure, which is different from population density. Then the elders, older generation people, now they are in 60s, 70s, 80s, they have to undergo the trauma of adjusting to the new technologies. Even in India, like that, SIN numbers, Aadhaar cards, even doing the banking, you have to have a cell phone, you have to download a lot of appliances, when I used to live in India in 17s, we used to have banking account. Life was going very normal, very enjoyable. Now the people are doing the same thing in a very complex way. That is due to technology overload, due to introduction of the software technologies, everything is done. So that is the trauma of adjusting to the new technology, passwords, the SIN numbers, Aadhaar cards, uploading the appliances, how to use them, and all those things. Of course, the job search process is a unilateral now in the Western societies. You just go on applying them, there is no reply. They even say now no reply messages. That means other side only sends the message. You have no way to contact them and talk about your applications or anything. These are auto-generated tests now. Before any job is offered, 4, 5, 6 auto-generated tests are done, and you start spending a lot of time in answering them and notice, and finally you won't even receive a response. That is not necessary, because they can just select the employers. Very few people talk to them, but there is immense population. So many people apply for the jobs. Employers are forced to do these things. We are not saying that this is wrong or right. Here we are analyzing how population load, excess population on the planet Earth, population load, technology load is complicating population pressure. That is MIC. That's what we are talking about. And auto-generated, that there is no face-to-face or person-to-person interaction. That is in essence about important topic called population pressure we discussed. Hope that will help you to discern more about your day-to-day life. And politics is also very competitive, especially in where the voting rights are there, like India. So many parties. We see immense amount of population pressure on the candidates and the governments. Government are supposed to deliver so many things for these voters and so on. So that is in general about the population pressure Homo Colossus industrial societies are faced today, and I hope that will help you to understand that. And that was we discussed about today the population pressure MICD as a part 82. In the other previous we discussed about the population, how many people there are added to the planet Earth by each province, major provinces in India and so on. Major countries, how many people are added to the planet Earth, also we discussed about that before. And we also discussed about the most important basic ecological concepts. If you do not understand the carrying capacity, taking over, drawing down the new world, Homo Colossus diachronic competition, you will not understand what is happening to you. Why this is happening, economic recessions, why they are happening, what is the concept of carrying capacity. Contraction of the carrying capacity is nothing but economic depression, economic recessions. All those things you will get a better idea, and you can go and look at that particular presentations. Most of these ideas basically come from this book and books, and I add my own global systems understanding to bring you the other practical perspectives. This is your presenter, Dr. J. Reddy at South Asia Maps with Roman Bandvom. See you later in other presentation. I will be very glad to hear your responses, and if you like them, please also subscribe the channel and bring it to the notice of your friends. Hope this particular presentation, the concept of population pressure, will help you to understand day to day how the society runs, industrial complex societies we live today with 8,000 million people on a limited planet Earth of round about 12,000 kilometer diameter from equator to Singapore. See you later in other presentations.